welcome to Turkish lesson number 1. In this lesson I'm going to teach you the alphabet. In Turkish we have 29 letters and most of them look the same as in French or in English, so you just need to memorize the different ones. So let's start. First letter is A. We pronounce it as A always. And then we have B. Then we have J. This letter is pronounced as J. I'm gonna put an asterisk here, so we'll talk about it later. And then we have this letter, which is Ch. So this is the previous one. It's like the English J in Jack, and this one as the CH in English, as like ch and chair and like chipmunk and stuff like that. After that we have De, and then we have E. This can be pronounced as the E in bed or set, or the letter A in man or sad. So it's an open E. There's a rule for this, I think. And then we have Fe. Then we have G. This is always a hard G, as in great, or I don't know, garage, like the first G in garage. And then we have this soft G. It's the same, but there's a hat on top of it. This letter is mute. You don't pronounce it. Okay? It doesn't have a sound in standard Istanbul Turkish. Then we have He, which is it's always pronounced as He. It's not as strong as the Greek H, like in Hieri or I don't know, stuff like that. But in English and in other languages, it's the same as the same sound in Turkish as in English. And then we have U. This is an important letter. This is not the letter I. It's not E. Okay, it's U. And pay attention, it has no dot. But anyway, I'll talk about it later. And then we have this letter as well. It's I with a dot. Okay, let's talk about these two. This is U and this is E. U, E. This letter is like this in capital. It looks like the letter I in English, but it's not, because when it's a small letter, it has no dot either. It's like the iota in Greek, and the sound it makes is it's like a schwa sound in English. For example, you would have a word like this. This looks like cutter, the U sound, or butter, or table. There's, in the Turkish mind, there is a U sound here, table, okay? It occurs as a schwa in English, and in other languages too, like in German, there is the, like, schlafen, there's the U sound here. It exists in many Slavic languages as well. But just pay attention, it has no dot when it's a capital, neither does it have any dot when it's a lowercase letter. Okay. Now the next letter is the same with a dot. Now this is the real E in Turkish. Pay attention, it has a dot when it's a uppercase letter as well. So this is the same sound as in like bit in English, or sit, or I don't know, live. Okay. Let me erase it. And then we have this letter. This is pronounced as J, as in French. This is like the sound the S sound in measure or leisure and stuff like that. This letter is not pronounced it's not used very often in Turkish. I don't think you'll see it very frequently. And then we have K. Next letter is L, which is Le in Turkish, but the name doesn't matter too much. Le. Me. Oh, one thing about this Le, this is a hard Le as the American L. Okay, so it's like how can I say it? It's like the English word, the American word call. Like you would pronounce it as calling, but in Britain they would pronounce it as calling. So pay attention, it's a dark L, call, and it's L and not L. Okay. Usually French and Italian speakers have a hard time pronouncing this letter. It's the exact same thing in Russian. You have L and you have L, if you know those languages. So it's always a hard L. Well, it's not always a hard L, but like it's 95% even of the time it's hard. M, N, these are the same as you see. O, E. Now this letter is like the French E, like in the words like peur or leur. And in English this doesn't exactly occur, but it sounds kind of the same in words like sir or curve or I don't know, like jerk. We have a special letter for that. It's O with 2 dots. And then we have P, and then we have Re. This one is also weird. I'm going to talk about it. And then we have Se. And look what we have here. It's She. So this is S, this is SH. Instead of saying S, writing SH, we write it like this. Okay. Actually, it's the same. It's the same here. As you see, this cedilla, this is called a cedilla in French. So I'm giving that name as well. This is like an H. Okay. Think of it as an H. After C, below C, it's like CH. Below S, it's an SH. So Sh. After that, we have the letter T. And then U. This is U like in pool. Okay. And then we have U. This letter doesn't exist in English. This sound doesn't exist in English. It's like the French U or the German U. The closest I can think in English is like in the words like cute or mute. Sort of like the U sound, but it's not exactly the same. It's U. Just U, a pure U vowel. U. And then we have, in Turkish, we have V, letter V. This is always V. We have Y sound. This is always a consonant. Okay, it's Y, always. It's always like in yogurt. Okay, it's always Y. And then we have Z. And it's always a Z. Even in words like this, we pronounce it as pizza and not pizza. Okay. So these are the basic letters in Turkish. We don't have the letters Q, X, and W. You might see them in some Kurdish names, I guess. Now I want to talk about some of the special letters. So we have, as you remember, J and Che. This letter, this is the book letter, by the way. When we're writing with a pencil, you would see things like this, or this, or this. These are all the same, okay? So let's give an example. This letter is J, as in Jack, and this letter is CH, as in chair. So, for example, a word like this, don't ever make the mistake of reading it as C or key or something. It's G always. Ciklet. Ciklet means chewing gum. Chewing gum. It's not a very useful word, but I mean, it's the first word that came to my mind. And then an example for this word would be çok. Çok means a lot. This is a useful word. Çok. Okay? This is pronounced as çok. If I have to give an example for a word where this letter, for example, is not at the beginning, it would be kaç. Kaç means how much or how many. It's a question word. Kaç. Okay. As you see, it's always ç, no matter where it is. Actually, it is easy to read in Turkish. Once you know how a letter is pronounced, you can read pretty much anything. After that, we have U and I, as you remember. This one, it was like a schwa, and this one was a I, and these are uppercase, by the way. Don't forget the dot. It's important. Because when it's lowercase, it has a dot as well. Or, vice versa. When it's the uppercase, it doesn't lose the vowel as in English. So this is U and this is I. So an example for U would be, for example, this word. As you see, you have U here, and a ç here. Let me erase these. So you have k, u, l, u, ç, which is kılıç. Kılıç means a sword. Okay. Again, it's not a very useful word. But the point is, you can read pretty much anything once you know the pronunciation of the letters individually. So that's it. U and ç. And this is I. Okay. For example, Istanbul is spelled in Turkish with a dotted I in the capital. Okay. After that, we have the letter O and Ö. Now, again, this is the book letter, but when we write it with a pencil, you can see this, you can see this, you can see this, which I prefer usually. It's faster, okay? And it's Ö, like in sir, or first. For example, a word like, I don't know. For example, this is a woman's name. Let's pronounce it. Özge. Özge. Özge is a name. Or this word, it's göl. Göl means lake. Okay, this is a name. It also has a meaning, it's like original or something, but it's usually used as a name. And göl is lake. And for example, this is a number. Dört. Dört means 4. Okay. Now that's it. And then we have this pair as well. U and Ü. Okay. Again, it's the same. You can see this, you can see this, etc. It's the same. I usually prefer this one. For example, let's take a look at this word. Gül. Gül is a rose. Gül. It also means to smile. Rose, it's a flower. So that's it. U is the same as in many languages. This is this letter is like double O, like in the word pool in English. Okay. For example, uyku. Uyku is sleep. Uyku. Or my name is Utku, for example. So U and U. And then we have this pair. Again, you can see these forms. Okay, it's the same. S and Sh. For example, take a look at this word. Shahin. Shahin means it's an animal. Shahin, it's an animal. It's a falcon. Okay, it's a bird. Shahin. And this is a normal S. It's always an S, by the way. It's never Z, like in like advertise in English. It's spelled with an S, or in French, but it's always an S in Turkish. Okay, no matter where it is. For example, kasa is a safe box. It's pronounced kasa. And then we have this pair. This is always a hard G. It's always G, okay? And this one is mute. Now I want to talk about this for a second. Let me erase the table. Erase the board. Now this letter is called G, and this letter is called yumuşak G, soft G. This letter is a bit weird. It exists in many dialects as a sound, but in standard Istanbul Turkish it is mute. We don't pronounce it. On the TV you wouldn't hear it, but it serves some purposes. First of all, you need to know that no word starts with this. There's no word starting with this letter. Okay, it's just a helper letter. This one is always a G, as I said. No matter what follows it, it's always G. Like in the English word garage, the first G, it's always G. Now this one, if it occurs, it always comes after a vowel. This is the lowercase version. It's the same G with a hat. If it is between two vowels, it will follow a vowel, obviously, but if it is followed by a vowel, then this is completely mute. Okay, you pronounce this vowel and then you skip this vowel. Okay. So, for example, a word like this. As you see, there's a vowel here, there's a vowel here. This will be completely omitted. So it's pronounced soğuk, 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 soğuk. In some dialects you will hear soğuk, soğuk with a little, like the Greek gamma actually. But in standard Turkish we don't pronounce it at all. So it's soğuk. Soğuk means cold. Actually you can make the sentence Atina soğuk. Athens is the capital of Greece. Atina is cold. As you see, we don't really say is in Turkish. It's simple. Atina soğuk. You can put the equal sign here. Athens is equal to cold. You can put anything here. New York soğuk, Istanbul soğuk, etc. An example where... Wait, let me give the formula first. Sometimes it will follow by a vowel. Sorry, it will follow a vowel, but it won't be followed by another vowel. So there will be nothing here, which will make this the final letter of the word, or there will be a consonant here. Consonant. For example, this word. There's nothing here. There could be a consonant here as well. It doesn't matter. As long as there's no vowel, then you have to pay attention. Then you pronounce this one longer. So this is effectively pronounced as da. Okay? Da. Da means mountain. Da. Or sa. Sa means alive. Okay? Or ya. Yağmur. As you see, by the way, you can... Some people do this, some people do this, some people do this. It's all the same. Yağmur. Yağmur means rain. Okay? As you see, there's a consonant here. There's no vowel here. So I pronounce this longer. Yağmur. Yağmur. As if there was another A here. I always give an example with A, but there are other examples too. For example, Chi. Chi means raw. Something that is not cooked. Chi. Okay. Chi. As you see, there's a chi here. It's one of the special letters. Chi is raw. Okay. Doesn't matter which vowel, as long as there isn't another vowel after it. This one is long. Chi. Now these are the most special letters. Now I want to talk about the less special letters, which are e and re. Now first of all, this one. As I said, this is either a closed e as in set, or an open e as in sad. Now, if I'm not wrong, this is pronounced like a closed e, most of the time. But when it's followed by n, r, l, or m in the same syllable, okay, this have to be in the same syllable. This has to be the syllable final letter. And what I mean by that is like this. This is in the same syllable, but this is not in the same syllable because the syllable construction is like this. So e and n has to be in the same syllable. If it's in the same syllable with these four letters, then it's pronounced as an open e sound, like in sad. Okay. For example, this word means sen. It's pronounced as sen. Sen means you. It's not sen, okay? It's san. In English, that would be like this letter, san. But, for example, this means your. We'll learn all these later, hopefully. But here, there are two syllables. So, e and n are not in the same syllable, so we pronounce this senin. This is san, this is senin. Now, this isn't a very, very important thing, but if you want to, perfect your pronunciation, this is something you can pay attention to. I also want to talk about the letter R. Now this is R in Turkish. R. Not as much rolled as in Spanish R, but it's still more rolled than in English. The thing with this is when it's in the syllable, at the end of a syllable, there's a soft sh sound coming after it. For example, in this word, which means one, or a, normally it's bir, but when we speak, usually we continue exhaling a bit more, and there's a soft sh sound coming, like bir, bir, bir. Do you see that? Do you hear it? Most Turks are oblivious to this, but I recently discovered it. So it's something that that might confuse you. So if you can't pronounce it, it's fine. Actually, you don't need to pronounce anything there. But if you hear it, know that there is actually no sh there. It's just bir. Okay, it's something you need to be aware of. Now on to another thing. We have some more diacritics that are not shown in the alphabet, and those are these three letters. Now a lot of people don't use these because these three letters were abolished and then they were reintroduced, but in a different way, so people are not so clear, about as to what the rule is. If you see these, there is, how can I say, there can be two possibilities. First of all, this one will be the most occurring one. After K and G, if you see this, know that there's a small y before it. So if you see this, for example, this equals to this, kya, kya. And this the same way here. For example, we have this word U, Z, G, A, and then R. This is pronounced rüzgar, rüzgar. So it's actually like this, rüzgar, rüzgar. Okay, rüzgar means wind. The same thing with these three, but when you see these after the other letters, like not after K and G, but another letter, then these are just pronounced long. For example, resmi means his picture. Resmi, but resmi with a long E means official. So there are these little details about these letters, but as I said, like a great majority of the people, I would even say 90% of the people don't use these, but you will see them every now and then. So that's the rule. After K and G, it's a U, it's palatalized, but after the other letters, they're just long. Okay, I think that's about it. The alphabet is over with this video.